Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. That was from my mess from giving this thing an oil change. But I want to talk about what it takes to do a safety on a motorcycle. One, you don't have to worry about fairings because they do sell naked bikes. So things like this aren't really a big deal. Things like this aren't really that big of a deal. When you have tape keeping your panels on, again, they're not a big deal. You have to have mirrors, minimum only your left side. You will need your brakes to be above 30%. You need your tires within 4 years. So there'll be a 4-digit code. Let me find it first. I found it. It's on the other side of the tire. And there's your 4-digit code right here. So the first 2 digits are for the month, and the last 2 are for the year. And then obviously, this little symbol here has to be matched up to your valve stem, and then you have to put your weights on to weight out the tire, so it's proper. I'm going to flip you guys back around. So you need a horn, beep, beep. Blinkers need to work, headlights need to work. So we'll turn that on, and you need your horn, and then blinkers, which we have the hazard lights that'll give us a bit of ease of access. And then on the rear of this beast, as you can see, we have integrated, which is illegal in Canada, but we also have these guys and these guys, so we are good. Hazards off. So lighting is good. Next thing you're going to want to check is oil. So it's on a nice level surface, and oil appears to be low. So maybe that we see here is a mess from the bike. So this is my 636, one of my favorite bikes. We're going to unload it today.
So as someone who loads and unloads motorcycles on a very regular basis, I love it when I can find or make it easier for myself. My driveway declines onto the road, so I can just back my truck up to it. It lowers the ramp height and the pivot point, or the, I want to say climax, but it's the peak of the ramp, which could grind or hit the belly pan of the motorcycle, and that would upset the balance. When you upset the balance of the motorcycle, it could throw the weight off. So when you come across that point, you'll upset the bike, and you could lose the bike on the ramp and then therefore damage it. You don't want any of that stuff. You want to avoid that at all causes. Plus, it makes it easier for you to unload and load the motorcycle. You can do this by backing up to a curb, which I often do at my sister's place or at work, where you do the ramp thing, which you see here. And it works wonderfully in keeping the bike safe as you bring it back down the ramp across that particular junction. And that makes it much easier and safer, better, quicker, faster, so you don't damage your bike. Because fairings are expensive. It could be a couple $1,000s just in fairings if you were to damage it. And of course, I got to do the customary spin to get the motorcycle up and out of the way. Gotta love doing that. You don't want to do it on the bigger bikes. And I get told by my friends and family that one day my kickstands are going to crack or fall or completely collapse, and I could lose the bike. Let's hope that never happens. Moving on to the next clip.
So I had a friend blow up their bike recently, and my bike's a little wet right now, but I put it up to the normal level for operating, and you can see the oil is good. So it's not all me, but I'll double check that. And again, for certification, you want to make sure your bearings. Good way to do that, have somebody hold the handlebars and somebody hold the wheel, just like this, and you can feel the top stems. If you have any movement, that's an issue. And then also at the same time with that same test, when you hold the wheel and you move, could also be your bearings inside here. They have to be good. Rotor has to be good, no grooves, no damages. This one has a slight warp to it, not really that big of a deal. The back, same deal. You want your brakes above 30%. As you can tell with the discs, looks great. They're brand new. Same with the rotor, and the same with the back here. You want your bearings to be good, and then they want to see that your Your chain is also good. Your exhaust is solid in place, no movement, so that's it's okay. They want to make sure your brake fluid is good, no leaks. Brake fluid is clear, as you can tell. And then same with here, not a big deal. That's like a minor compared to some other stuff. And then we're gonna bring it up to the main part of the area. Damage like this, not really a big deal, like I said. Even like sticker stuff, not really a big deal. As long as your tank holds fuel, that's what they want to see. Your shifter cannot have any movement, so it has to all be there, prim and proper, so no kind of issues. And as you can see, this one is nice and tight. Your chain, again, this one's a bit loose, but that's not too bad. That's what your tolerances are. That won't stop you from getting safety. What else? Your handlebars have to be straight. Your grip cannot be moving. So if my grip was to move back and forth, that would fail safety. You have to have working clutch levers, working brake levers. Your suspension, I did that recently. So that's to do with these guys. You'll know right away if there's a problem. There'll be excess oil built up and you're leaking. You'll see like little puddles around the forks, and I don't see any grease, no dirt being stuck to it. That's a sign. And obviously your rad has to hold fluid, no damages, no cracks, no breaks, things of that nature. Since I just replaced these are pretty good. And obviously having a nice clean bike makes a big difference. Obviously I have switchback blinkers, so if I go to my left, it switches to that. Same thing with the right, and the reverse does the same thing. They switch back, and then that gives me extra points because they're bright and LEDs. Same with these guys. What docks points is when you have water. So if you look here, we have water, and that's not good. So I still have to play with that. We'll worry about that a little bit later. But the suspension is good. What else do they look for? Tire wear. These are, I'd say, about 80% life left in them. They want to see, and I forget what the actual millimeters is. I quickly looked it up. So these are well within margin, and it goes to, I think, 30 seconds. So you can be almost near burnt out bare, but it should be even wear across. Obviously, you don't lean in the corners all the time, so you still keep the tread here while it wears it down to center, because we usually run highway. The back part of this tire is really good. You don't want to see any damages, cracks, breaks, no cracks in the sidewall, stuff like that. And you can see the chicken strips across here. So mine are about that big, so I don't really lean too much. And this is a nice, thick, meaty tire. So this will definitely pass safety, as it already did. Your suspension, again, has to be good and good working order. I've never asked this, but generally your engine doesn't actually have to run. This one obviously does. Turn it on. She's in neutral. Turn that off. But yeah, a lot of pipe saved lives. Obviously, I got rid of all the stuff along here, the phone holders and stuff like that, because what I really noticed, less is more. And not having a phone holder to distract you, and you can just use the GPS over your earbuds or AirPods or anything like that, you're good to go. One thing that they find questionable is connections that are like this, but this is just temporarily permanent. They don't really want to see stuff like that, so if you can hide that kind of stuff, that's all for the better. Right now, it is what it is. And on my bike, I have the back rack, which is a metal rack, and then we have the Milwaukee pack out, so I can put my knapsack and cooler and things of that nature. I built these for camera holds or just tie downs or being able to move the bike around. So I can just kind of drag it around. Not really a big deal. Makes it nice and easy to move it around. You just grab and pull. Not really a problem. What else for safety wise? Yeah, generally speaking, tires, brakes, they want to see generally good working order. They don't care about your exhaust. They don't really care about your motor. They want to see lights, mirrors. They want to know you can brake, no damages that you can see here, not leaking fuel. That's pretty well it. As long as your bike resembles a bike, you're good to go. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ask a real mechanic, not a YouTube mechanic. But this will kind of point you in the right direction of what they will allow to pass for safety and what they won't. So generally speaking, good tires, good brakes, mechanically there, bearings are good, front, back, and all around. Generally in good shape, minus these have some dents and cracks and breaks and scratches, stuff like that. But yeah, you'll pass.
So that whole safety thing, roadworthiness, checking for any issues, is what I do every time I take my motorcycle out. And I do it for my friends too. I check over their stuff, even if they don't ask me to do. I just kind of do it once over, mainly because you never know if someone has done anything to your bike. And I've had that happen where somebody has stabbed razor blades, like from an X-Acto knife, into my tire and then snapped it off, so that as I'm driving down the road in the wear and tear and this, that, and the other, will push the blade into the tire and cause me to have a leak. Won't necessarily cause you to have a blowout, but you're not going to have a good day if you have a flat tire. We don't want that. So always be careful, mindful of everything on your bike or around you while you're driving. As you can see, loading the motorcycle is pretty easy, just like unloading it. We just want to be safe, secure, proper, and make sure everything's level. Don't want to grab the belly pan or grind against the belly pan to upset the weight of the bike. Now at this point, I typically just attach two ratchet straps. I have retractable ratchet straps for the motorcycles, and they've been amazing. I tend to leave mine out in the rain. You don't really necessarily want to do that. I have a folding ramp, which has been brilliant. Mine's a little dented and a little bit cattywampus, but it works pretty well. And that thing has done amazingly over the years. Now, when I ratchet these two straps on the motorcycle, I bring the rear tire against the tailgate. So then, therefore, in my mind, and I drop the kickstand. So I have the kickstand down. Sometimes I leave it in gear, sometimes I don't. So I have 4 points of contact.
And that's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Oh, that one's a bit loose. And then the other part of that, make sure she's a part of your truck. So when you move it, the truck should move too. So that, you can use another little click, and there you go. Beautiful. So one of the things I always do is I start and stop a couple times, see how the load is going to go, because you'll always have something moving, something changing, and load dynamics. I already cranked it down, so I got 3, and I was able to, the bike moved away from the tailgate. So you want to keep her nice and tight, even though we double checked, now we're triple checking. It's important to make sure your load stays in place. Yeah. Put my tripod up, and it had a harder time staying in position than the bike did. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.